Welcome to episode 5 of Potato Tomato. My name is Trenton Engel, and I'm here with all of our friends today. Jack, Cole, Ethan, and Gabe. Today, we're going to be discussing PETA. In my opinion, PETA is kinda questionable in their way of doing things. Yeah.
Okay. In my opinion, PETA does not stick to their word. They say they do stuff, but yet they do a lot of bad animal cruelty things.
I also believe PETA is a very scandalous group. They do a lot of things that you probably shouldn't do, considering you're a big company.
Yep.
I'm Jack, and I think that they do a lot of things that get swept under the rug because they're sort of in that vegan community where they tend to get away with a lot of stuff.
I'm Cole, and I think similar to what Jack's saying, but not exactly. I feel like PETA has been using these controversies to gain more publicity to grow their company, which I think is a main problem.
Now that we know everyone's opinions, let's go to the open discussion.
Okay, I'll start out with the topic. When I was looking up PETA for this episode, I saw this ad campaign that they ran with a man holding a mutilated, dying sheep, saying that this was the rest of your fur coat. But if you actually look up pictures of shaved sheep, they're perfectly healthy. It would hurt the companies to hurt the sheep, because then they'd have to get more sheep. So, I mean, like, PETA's just making these false claims about big companies and getting away with it.
Yeah, oh, right. Yep. I have actually taken a sheep as a 4-H project, and I know for a fact that shaving the sheep does not hurt them. It would actually be worse if they just left the fur or the fur wool. I've had a brain fart. Had left the wool on there because they get too fluffy and then like overheat and stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can't they like get diseases or something if they get too fluffy? Or
Yeah.
Too hot.
Yeah. It's basically like getting your head shaved. It's like getting a haircut.
They could also attract like bugs and stuff, lice and other small insects. So I mean, yeah, I can see why shaving is actually easier for the sheep than keeping it fluffy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because there have been people who don't shave their sheep. They are extremely less cleanly and can be more open to diseases, which can kill a bunch of sheep, which can also directly impact the farmers or whoever owns the sheep's income, because that's how they make some of their money.
And I've also seen they openly endorse bad organizations like ALF. I'm pretty sure it's pronounced ALF. It's spelled ELF. And it's identified as a terrorist group by the U.S. government, and they've openly donated like thousands of dollars to them. Which, if other companies did that, there would be big consequences of that.
Oh yeah, definitely. There would be a lot of controversy, and I haven't heard about this at all. So I'm guessing they somehow found a way to kick this aside and.
Yeah, it's a lot of things get swept under the rug with them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That's definitely a very questionable decision.
They're talking to it.
That's a very questionable decision.
Yep. So what else did you guys find with your research on PETA?
I have found that of all the animals PETA takes into their care at their shelters and whatnot, they put down a majority of those animals. I think it was like 60-70% of their animals get put down, and it's within like the first 3 days of being in their care.
91. No more. You need to be closer to the mic. And I think it's 91% of the animals in their shelters end up getting put down or end up dying. Only about 1% of them actually get adopted.
One would argue they'd be better off outside of the PETA shelters.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And that's probably where PETA got the animals from. They just were on their way to work, saw a cat walking down the road, and picked them up.
Yeah. Trenton, did you find anything on PETA when you were researching them?
Not that close. Not that close. That's a little close.
Easy
Yeah. I found that, I need to think about what I found.
You just need to talk.
And yeah, go ahead, Cole.
So I remember hearing about this, and I saw this because it was blowing up on Twitter, and I can't find the tweet anymore, which kind of makes sense. But back in, I think it was July 14th, I think. I can check, but I won't right now. But PETA had decided it'd be a good idea to hop on the trend with, is everything is cake trend that's been going around on the internet, on TikTok and Reddit and Instagram and Snapchat. And so they posted a picture of a cat that was dissected, that was cut in half, saying, looks like not everything's cake.
And you think a company that preaches animal, tranquility, preservation, whatever you want to call it, you think
Animal
that they
rights.
wouldn't put out such graphic images? It's almost like they're using fear tactics to try to submit the users into either donating for them or supporting them, whatever they want. It's like they're doing things that are just blatantly disgusting, and they don't really prove a point because they're just wrong, but yet they get away with it time after time.
This information I have right in front of me here is a bit outdated. The last time it was updated was in 2011. But in 2011, 1,911 animals were killed in PETA shelters. That's 95.9% of the animals. From 2007 to 2011, 94.8% of the animals in their shelters, or 10,351 animals, died. Only 90 of them were adopted, at a rate of 0.82%. And that's out of a total of 10,916 animals. You can find so many videos and images of people saying, how PETA that it was wrong of them to post that picture of that cat.
And speaking of ethics, I just remembered when I was looking up stuff yesterday, I found a bunch of screenshots of really questionable things that they've said, but we're using my phone to record. Yesterday, I saw this quote. One of the people that worked at PETA, one of the higher-ups, said that it's okay to smash windows and destroy property as long as it's for their cause. And the dude was like calling for a full animal revolution. And it's like, on the terms of ethics, they aren't being very ethical in any way. And like we've seen with the Black Lives Matter protests, these rioting, which a lot of people say are wrong anyways. Think about the idea of rioting for animals, which I think we can all agree are a step down on humans in the terms of like natural hierarchy. The humans are above animals all of the time, basically.
Yeah.
And they're willing to like call this full animal revolution and overthrow mankind.
I mean,
right, like torturing animals is wrong, but I mean, nowadays we're pretty civilized people. We're not going around torturing animals for the fun of it, or torturing people for the fun of it like Rome was doing. We're pretty civilized now, and it seems like they're trying to act like we aren't.
and another thing I found was PETA released this vegan guide to Animal Crossing New Horizons. Well, as I was saying, so PETA released a vegan guide to Animal Crossing New Horizons. Now, Animal Crossing is a video game made by Nintendo. Let's read off some of their little bullet points. Don't fish in Animal Crossing New Horizons.
Oh, and keep in mind, this isn't the first time they've attacked Animal Crossing. This is either the second or third time. which is kind of sad. It's a video game. They were holding virtual rallies and virtual protests on people's islands in the game. And it's funny because we're at the point that they were at in the game. They had to catch animals, catch bugs, catch fish, and all that stuff in the game to progress where they were in the game. Which I don't think they understand that.
Anyways.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but I haven't played any good vegan games or any games at all. Basically, any game you play depends on killing things and using them for food. This isn't like just Animal Crossing. This is every game.
Yeah, that's basically just survival. It's like Animal Crossing is kind of like a simplistic survival, and they're attacking it for being a simplistic survival.
Anyways, so yeah. So one of their points is like, unlike in real life, fish in the game don't feel pain, but fishing is harmful to animals and the planet.
If you actually play the game, you would realize in the game you don't kill the fish. You don't do anything to them. You put them in like an aquarium, and like it's not like, oh, they don't have enough room. Number one, it's a video game. Number two, it's like a huge 10,000 gallon tank. It's ginormous. If you play the game, you'd understand that. I feel like they probably bought Animal Crossing for their kids and was thinking, oh, there's animals in this? We could probably market off this somehow. Free publicity.
Here's another point. Don't catch bugs. Don't let blathers build a museum.
We're also going to ignore the fact that all the characters in Animal Crossing are animals besides yourself.
Yes.
We're just going to ignore that part of it.
Yeah.
Don't dig for clams, because clams can feel pain.
But
Coding on a screen can feel pain. This seems like the wrong place to invest your energy.
Hey guys,
Like, there are children in India who should not be legally working for Nike, but they're concerned about coding on a screen.
guys, watch out. Those ones and zeros, they hurt, man. I'm telling you, they feel pain. I'm telling you right now. Hit him with a knife, that's pain. I'm telling you.
I think they're more doing it as, well, their intention is to spread awareness for it, but that's not how they're marketing it. That's not how they're displaying how they feel about it. They're making it seem like the game is a problem, and it's a problem in the game itself. They're saying like it doesn't have any tie to what's happening in the world, which is just so ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Here's another point. I guess this one is fine. It's like, eat vegan in Animal Crossing, but I guess that's fine.
You don't really eat in Animal Crossing. You eat
Wait a
apples
minute,
to
you
move,
don't?
To dig up and plant trees. That is the only eating you do. You can't eat animals.
You can't?
You can't. You can't even eat animals in Animal Crossing. It'd be kind of sadistic, judging by how villagers like horses and dogs and cats. That'd be kind of sad.
The whole Blathers part. Blathers, he owns a museum, so they're already dead. The villager did nothing to them. They're already dead, and all you do is you pick up the fossils and you put them in a museum. So it's glorifying them, I guess, in a way.
Hashtag fossils have feelings too.
Fossils have feelings too, guys. Heard it first.
Wait, you guys upset about the fossils as well?
Yeah, they talked about the fossils.
They did. But yeah, this isn't the first attack they've had on Animal Crossing. I remember when it launched, which that was a while ago.
yeah.
But from a person, I don't know if anyone else here has played Animal Crossing, but personally I have. There is nothing that, it's not a bad game. There's nothing evil that they say. There's nothing evil about it. It's a perfect, calm, relaxing game. Besides being in debt hundreds of thousands of dollars to Tom Nook.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
So there's also a thing about what you can wear. Should you build a dog house? Isn't there a dog villager?
Yes.
That's kind of weird, but also
there's a
Oh, well.
campaign board there, that's up against the town hall, and if you have a unread message on that board, a bird lands on there, and it's a bird, not an anamorphic bird like Blathers, which
I don't
is
know.
kind of interesting, but
well.
we'll ignore that.
Here's another little section. Is Tom Nook exploiting you? Tom Nook is a tanuki, or a raccoon dog, who are often killed for their fur. Others like him in the real world are beaten, electrocuted, gassed, or skinned alive. Cut him some slack.
Why would they be skinned alive?
I don't know.
That's what
Well,
I'm
I
also
mean-
thinking, how many people see raccoons digging in their trash and just skin them for it?
Well,
They have something. They have a lot. I think they have a lot to do with Japanese culture as well. So I feel like what they're saying, it's not like actually what the majority of people are seeing. It's just like they're picking out a few bad people and generalizing the entirety of society on those people. Because if you see, Nintendo has a lot to do with Tanuki, like the animal. Because like Tanuki suits, like in the Mario games, like was that Super Mario 2 or what was it?
That was Super Mario 3.
It was 3, okay. But yeah, Nintendo is Japanese, so of course they're going to introduce Japanese lore into their games because they're based in Japan.
And when you think about it, that's really PETA's entire advertising campaigning system. It's all about assumptions and generalizations. With them, it's either all or nothing. You're either completely for PETA or you're completely against PETA and animals' rights, while we're on that topic.
And, sorry, back to the Tanuki. Apparently, according to Wikipedia, the Tanuki is... So, the Tanuki are a kind... This is very vague, I don't understand this. They're found in classics and in folklore and legends of various places in Japan. So the Tanuki is basically a mythical creature in Japan's culture that has relatively not that many ties to the actual animal itself. Most things, they're based off of a mixture of those two things, which people also don't quite understand. It's whatever.
So, I mean, unless we're going to continue on the Animal Crossing, I have another topic that we can talk about. Do you have more to say, Trenton?
well, we just got to the fun things you can do to enjoy your island in an animal-friendly way, and it's just raiding a friend's island to protect their museum protest their museum for keeping captive
my
fish.
gosh. That's horrible. That's like borderline harassment when you just don't let someone play their game.
The thing about that is...
I mean, the end of this has like a nice little, we're all animals and we all deserve respect. Yeah, I guess that's nice.
Back to what I was saying with Minecraft. I'm gonna go on a bit of a. Oh, I'm gonna try not to go on a tangent.
So, if you guys are done with the video game aspect, which I haven't played Animal Crossing, but it sounds like a pretty chill game. Not anything like PETA makes it out to be. But changing the topics here a little bit, when PETA tries to play like this moral high ground and make you feel like you're worse than them, but just to put it in perspective, they got mad at it's not like they're like favoring a political side, they're going after everybody. When Barack Obama was giving a speech, they criticized him for swatting a fly and called it an execution. And also, I read that they did a collaboration with someone whose nickname was the Queen. So there's ethics for you.
I've been researching while these guys have been talking, and I found something kind of interesting, to be honest. Going back to going to hierarchy about PETA, a tweet on March 21st, 2020, COVID-19 wouldn't exist in a vegan world. They're saying that deadly diseases wouldn't break out if people would not eat animals. And I thought that was very strange. So I went and did about 3 minutes of research. That's all it really took. The Black Plague, one of the worst diseases in the world to ever happen, was by a bacteria infection. Not eating animals, not destroying animals, just a bacterial infection.
And at that, people think it's the rats that spread the disease. No, it was a disease spread by ticks and other bugs that were on the rats. So the disease was carried by the bugs.
Keeping
which
the
then
animals,
the rats carried to people.
Yes.
It wasn't the rats.
So keeping the animals alive is not always the best thing. Sometimes you have to get rid of
more disgusting animals to get rid of more disgusting diseases.
And I think with COVID, the story of COVID shouldn't be about animals. It should be about poverty. Because, they say the guy ate a bat. Why do you think he was eating a bat? Because he was starving. I don't care. If you have a fully vegan world and there are animals around and a guy's about to starve, I would fully support him eating an animal against starving. He just chose a bad day to do it.
Yeah.
This is going off.
Got
It's going to be on the COVID line, which I know is a really heated, debated subject right now. But even with saying the animals spread it, that isn't even 100% confirmed yet. There's been more recent studies that have proven that there's been cases of COVID in places that it isn't possible, like islands that have had no people join it, like travel there. SARS and COVID are same strain of viruses. Where did SARS go? SARS just disappeared. A lot of scientists are thinking that SARS just went off the radar and then it's been evolving because that's what it can happen. It's because it can evolve and then it can make it so it doesn't show symptoms and it waits for just the right time to spring back up. People are starting to think that is what's happening and that's how it spreads so fast.
Like it could be a different strand of the same virus.
Yeah, because it'll evolve and split. Because I feel like that's also why we've seen different types of it in different parts of the world. Because that makes sense. Because it evolves differently.
Right. The one in China they're slightly different than the one we're dealing with now, so it can evolve fast.
I've heard that with one of them, it can infect people super easily, but then it doesn't have a death rate. And then there's another one. There's more than 2 strands, no doubt. But then the other main one, is it spreads a little bit less. It's not as easy to spread, but it's still easy to. But it has a bit of a higher death rate. But it's still nothing compared to like the Spanish flu or anything like that.
Cole, I saw you looking up something on your computer. Would you like to share it?
Yes. So I can't figure out where I saw this originally. And Jack said he had saw this as well, and I don't know. He can't remember where. But we had read somewhere that I don't think it's CEO, it was someone higher up in PETA. But they had was it a Corvette or what kind of car was it?
It was either a Corvette or no. It was a Dodge Viper that they were trying to sell.
But they're trying to sell a Dodge Viper. Was it to? I think it was to benefit the company, but it had leather interiors from a cow.
Yeah, they were selling a Dodge Viper. I can't remember if they were giving it to a company or if it was just an individual employee selling it. But yeah, they openly endorsed the leather seats. They used that as a positive for why you should buy the car. But cows are where leather comes from.
I think they might be missing a few brain cells up in there or something.
Just a few.
Either that or they aren't fully committed to being that. They just want to make a scene and spread what they believe is right. And aren't they a non-for-profit company?
They're supposedly not, yeah.
I think they probably spent their study hall time sniffing glue or something.
Most likely.
Sniffing some Sharpies.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, the overall unethical method of advertising and the hypocrisy, like, there were more stories like that. That was just the one that popped out to me. It makes you think that they're more about publicity and trying to join. We're at 30 minutes. Okay, well, it'll be edited out.
It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like PETA is more concerned about like trying to get into this different class of people, like this really radical group that seems to be trying to upend America. It seems like they're trying to fit in there more than animal rights. They're trying to like send a message and get their face out there. Like along with like the crazy people are trying to defund the police. It seems like they're trying to categorize them with the extremes that are like trying to turn America into something that it's not.
So, sorry, this is back to the not everything is cake tweet by PETA. Twitter user hey_Rabeam says, "Hey, just a heads up, be careful with the trending tag for PETA as it is full of a lot of people." I don't know what that is. I'm not on Twitter that much. Quoting a post by them taking a picture of a dissected cat with the caption, "Not cake." A lot of people clicked on this and were immediately... It wasn't censored or anything. Like, it wasn't saying, like, warning, this image isn't safe. So, because I feel like with some images like that, they probably do this, like, we have to click on it twice. But apparently it doesn't like that. It was completely uncensored. It was a picture of a dead cat that was dissected. And, like, I saw this funny thing on Instagram. It was either Instagram or YouTube. But there's a guy who was like, when I was in school, when we dissected a frog, we didn't all go out to recess the period before, and everyone had to catch frogs and just slam into walls to dissect them. That's not what we did. That is not how it works. People treat it as... Never mind. PETA is treating it like it's something that is really bad, but it's not. It's teaching students and people how the human body works. Would you rather us learn on animals or be like the Nazis and test it on humans? Your choice.
I mean, I think the war crimes sound better to me.
Yeah.
Imagine hurting animals. You know, that's
pretty crazy.
It's pretty crazy.
And then that's where I kind of come back to, when you're trying to appeal to a radical group of people, you have to do radical things. Like, they've gone down a path that I don't know if they intended to go down, but it feels like they're more about trying to fit in to this group of people who wants them to be that way. And, like, there's really, what we see in the news, the people saying these crazy things on either side of the political spectrum, that is not the vast majority of Americans. It's just the few people that have the most power. So I would say that most Americans are against what PETA's been doing. It's just that the wrong people have the more power.
Oh, I found this related to the thing about if PETA's nonprofit. They're registered in the United States as a nonprofit, tax-exempt organization.
Okay, I found the article, and it's on PETA's blog. Pamela Anderson, I have no idea who she is. Apparently she's an actor. The more you know. Am I right? So apparently she sold her sports car to raise money for PETA. Apparently, this is decently old, but she announced that she'll be selling her 2000 Dodge Viper, customized with white racing stripes and the whole shebang. Who uses the word shebang, especially a company? Like, come on. Shouldn't you have high standards? As I was saying, along with her other personal items, apparently she's been working with PETA for 15 years, and they're kind of her ethical advisors. With them, I see actual results. I do not want to see how her ethics are. Yeah. No, thank you. Yeah. She told me that she attends charity auctions on a regular basis, but doesn't do much collecting herself. I get sports stuff for my kids, she said, but me, I just on a whim give everything away. This is another one of those opportunities, but it's specific. It gets to the cause. I understand people, I feel like celebrities, I feel like a lot more than we realize donate to charities and stuff. Especially, I feel like a lot probably do donate to PETA, but this is going off topic a bit. It's so generally on topic. But we don't need to know about what they donate to PETA and other companies. That's just them flaunting their wealth. Saying, oh, I can give $2 billion to this one company. We don't need to make it public. I feel like if you honestly cared about that organization and not just if they cared about how they looked in the public eye and not about their ego, they wouldn't announce that, like how much they donated. I feel like, yes, they should say, yeah, we donated money to this and that, but I don't think they should be forced, this isn't just the people's fault. I've seen with, like, this was trending on Twitter a while ago. It's a couple years. I don't pay much attention to this, but it was like one of the Jenners, or I have no idea. It was some female. They were talking about like a hurricane or something, and then they were tweeting something about how it was. I don't care. I wasn't paying attention to it, but people were harping on her. Why didn't you donate money to this organization? They could use money. How do they know that she didn't donate money to them? You don't need to constantly be flaunting your wealth by showing everyone, yes, I donated this amount of money to this business and this much to that. It's I just don't think it's a very good ethically wise.
Yeah, it's kind of in the depth of standards recently. Like, there are so many companies where they don't even really care about the cause. As long as you submit to them and tell them that I fully support what you're doing, you can be saved. It's kind of like with the whole cancel culture thing. Like, we don't care if you're actually doing Y, as long as you publicly say you support us and you say that you're doing X, it doesn't matter what you actually do, you just have to say that we're good. and that those people are the bad people.
I understand why some people think that cancel culture is a good thing that is going on. I feel like, yes, it is in some ways, but in others, I don't think it is. Why are we canceling people for things that they did 15, 10 years ago? It's ruined. I feel like it's ruined some people's careers, which is just sad. Like Jenna Marbles, she did something like, was it 10 years ago? She's off of YouTube now, like off the internet entirely. Or something that happened so long ago. We can't judge people about their past mistakes. Like, yes, we can ask them about them, say they regret them, yes, but we don't go calling for someone to be taken off the internet for something that happened 10 years ago. Like, you see all these times comedians. The comedy structure, it was a lot more different back then. Times change, things change. Why don't we focus things like that on things that are still going on? They've been going on for tens of years. We're just focusing on the things that we shouldn't be focusing on. We're focusing on things that have happened a while ago and not things that are happening right now as we speak.
All right, are we ready to wrap this up?
Sure.
Yep.
All right. With that fun note, thanks for watching Potato Tomato.
I have a thing to add in. Also, if you are interested, we have a Discord server which you can directly talk to us, give us ideas, and possibly contribute to the conversation. Because I talked to one of you about it. We could do calls through that, so we can have a guest host. We don't have to have them with us, but we can have them on a call, and they could be featured in the podcast if you'd like. Figured that'd just be interesting to throw in there.
Elon Musk, we're looking at you.
Yeah, so you can give us video ideas, anything you want, and we'll put the link in the description. Are you
Elon
ready
Musk, please.
Well, with that fun note, let's end the video. Thanks for watching Potato Tomato. Is that camera centered?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it's centered.
It seems like it's not.
It's
Stop.
centered.
Stop.